Hey everyone, we're going to do a tutorial on how to keep track of harvesters using SWGAide. Let's pull up Aide. Let's see here. We're going to be in the main resources tab. You'll see a harvesting tab. Now this is all cleared out. This is kind of a test one that I'm doing here so we can do this tutorial. Most people see this and they think, what in the hell, how do I set this stuff up? You can right click in these panels. Basically anywhere in Aide you can right click and you'll get some kind of a menu or an option or whatever. So here we have two main areas. Even in the main area down here we can do the same thing, create a harvester, create owner. We're going to start off with creating the harvesters. Let's do an elite mineral. This is an NGE based Aide, so it's going to have all the elites. In fact, it's going to have every type of harvester that is in the game. We'll set the BER, we'll just guess on hopper size. We'll put whatever, 412,000. Modifier rate, since we're on Legends, let's do 2. And there we go. And it's in deed form. This is just like if it's going to be in your inventory in game. That's just telling you the type, what it can do, the extraction, the hopper size, and of course the new thing, the modifier. I'm going to go ahead and add another. Let's do a chemical. And the descriptions are, technically that's the name of the harvester. These are unique in naming, so if you create, like if I created another chemical, I'll have to, make it unique. We'll do that. Set the hopper size. Long. Let's create another mineral just for the heck of it. Two. Now when I hit OK, it's going to tell me I can't do it. So all we have to do is like B or 2 or just something to make the name unique. Doesn't matter. You can name it. Well, let's call it Chuck Norris. What the hell? Alright, so now we have some harvesters set up in deed form. We need to set up an owner. Over here, let's create an owner. This is all of your expertise points. If you have them spent on this particular character in game, go ahead and adjust accordingly. This last one is the Harvest Fair buff. That's what you get from an entertainer. Miyagi doesn't have any expertise in this stuff, so I'm going to set him up with 0s. All of his points are in crafting, but I do get a buff every time I go to plant Harveys, so I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to go ahead and set up a second owner just for the heck of it. Let's use Thunderbum. We're going to pretend he has all of his expertise and he gets an entertainer buff. Okay, so now we got 2 owners. Now you're thinking, well, how the heck do I get a harvester down here in this main screen? Because whenever we right click it, all this stuff's grayed out. We can't do anything, right? This is where I get asked a lot, how does this work? Because most people come here and they think, well, this doesn't do anything. Well, actually it does, and there's another step to actually harvest a resource. Oh, and by the way, there is help on this. If you go up here to the help menu, you can hit the F1 key, or you can just go up here and click help, and there's like a book on harvesting. And this is true with any panel within Aide. You can click help and it'll give you help relevant to that screen you are looking at. So anyway, onward, in order to add a harvester, we're going to go over here to current resources. Looks like a lot of creature stuff is recent, so let's go to organic, or inorganic rather. The very top one here is some ore. Let's harvest this ore. We're going to right click on what we want to harvest, and there's an option here that says add to harvest panel. That's how we add a harvester. And from here we have a list of whichever. Let's use Chuck Norris, yeah, and we'll use Miyagi and say we're on a 76% spawn. You can put your starting maintenance and power, and over here is a cluster count. This is so you don't have to create a gazillion deeds. So you got a dozen Harveys all in the same spot. You don't have to repeat this process 12 times. All you can do is put 12 in the count. Okay, and then notes somewhere on loc, whatever, or whatever you want to put in the notes you can. Okay, so now we're going to hit OK. Now you notice that resource just turned green. That means, see the tooltip, it says units owned 1. It literally drops 1 unit into your inventory just in preparation of you're soon to be going to be getting a whole bunch. So that's just kind of a visual cue that from this screen that you are harvesting it, or it's in your inventory. Okay, so let's go back over to the harvest screen. Now you can see this harvester is down here in the main area. We can see who owns it, when it was last updated, which harvester it's using Chuck Norris, the type, Elite Mineral. The maintenance is we're at 100% of 15,000 credits. This date is the estimated time on when that will run out of maintenance. Power is exactly the same way, 100% of 15,000 units of power. The date is when it's going to run out of power, or the estimated date time when it's going to run out. The resource, the type and name, the concentration, 76%, the base extraction rate, the actual extraction rate, and then the hopper. And this hopper is going to continually count. That's an estimate on how much it's harvesting. That is based on 1 hopper. Even though we have a 12 count, that is based on 1 hopper. And this date is when the estimated time when that hopper is going to be full. And then of course our notes. Now what makes this unique is say we're ready to empty the hopper and replenish our maintenance and power, right? We can right click anywhere here. That's what this refresh is for. Now keep an eye on this over here. We've only got, we're less than 150 units, okay? Say 100, I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. And what that's going to do is empty the hopper. It's going to reset all this stuff to 100%. But now here's the interesting thing. If we go into the inventory, this ore, it's going to say we just dropped 1,600 units roughly. That's because when we hit refresh, due to us having, and we'll pull up an edit screen, just because we have a count of 12, it's going to multiply this single hopper amount by 12 and then drop all that into our inventory. Yeah. Okay. So let's add a chemical, this lubricating oil. Add it to harvest panel. It's going to auto select the chemical D because it's the only one we have. Let's put Thunderbum on it. We're going to give him an 80% spawn with a 3 count. Bang. Let's see how it turns green. See how that one is now reflecting 1,600 units owned because we refreshed it. This one should say 1 because we just planted it. And now we see Thunderbums up here. Exact same principles. The name of the Harvey, the type, maintenance power, what it's harvesting, the concentration, all the estimates, and yada yada yada. Now the thing about this is that the harvester warnings, we have a reminder here, the default is 24 hours. What that means is once these start getting low, they will turn yellow like this. Like if the maintenance is running low, it will turn yellow and it'll actually alert. It'll give you an alert. It'll make this tab red, I believe. And if you have sounds enabled, it'll throw a little alert sound. But it'll do this for either maintenance, power, or the hopper when the hopper gets close to being full. It'll also alert when this resource is depleted as well. Like, if someone depletes it and you open up Aid and it pulls an update from Craft and it sees it's depleted, it's going to alarm on this. Oh, hey, it's deleted. Get your Harveys off of it, right? So, anyway, that is pretty much how you set it up. When you are done, completely done, you can go here and you can redeed it. And what this does is it'll remove this from the harvest panel. It'll turn this back into a deed. Notice how these are italics now. Oops, this one and this one. Both of these two are now italics. That means they're in use. They no longer have this deed in parentheses, right? So like right now we only have 1 deed available. And by the way, you can create as many as you want and need to do this. So what we'll do is to demonstrate, I'm going to filter inventory on this just to see. So we have 1 unit because we just dropped it. So there's only 1 unit. I haven't refreshed it or nothing yet. But just to illustrate what happens when we refresh, or rather redeed it. See the hopper amounts like 200 and something. We're going to redeed. Yeah, deactivate. Boom. It's back into deed form. It's gone from here. But notice the inventory. It's going to grab whatever's left in that hopper as we redeed it, so we don't have to worry about refreshing it before we redeed. Okay, same with this thing. And we've refreshed it once already, and we've already got some amounts there, and it's up to 200 and something again. So let's redeed it. Now we're up to 4,000 because it grabbed, 200 and some whatever times 12 and added it to our resource amount. So, in a nutshell, that is how managing harvesters work within Aide. And like I said, if you need more help, there's plenty here that explains all the other options stuff that I didn't really cover. This is meant just as a basic to get you started thing, so you kind of understand what's going on here. So anyway, thanks for watching.